Firstly, thank you very much for joining us. I was hoping you could just introduce yourself and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself to start us off.
Sure. So I'm Julia Kendell. I'm an interior designer. I've been for 30 odd years, and I work on DIY SOS and 60-minute Makeover, amongst other programs.
So tell us a bit more about home improvement and what inspires people in our area.
48% of people use home and interiors magazines for their inspiration. But it's really interesting, actually, that the millennials are actually taking the lead in home improvement now, quite possibly because getting on the property ladder is so expensive, so there's probably not a lot of money left for paying for professionals to do it. And of course, they're taking their inspiration from social media as they're youngsters. So places like Pinterest and Instagram, which are full of the most amazing lifestyle images and, of course, all of the new trends.
So how are British homes different to homes in other parts of the world?
Well, interestingly, in the UK, we're just about the only country that doesn't have tiled flooring as standard. You know, if you think of Mexican Portillo tiles or German porcelain, you know, across Europe and the States and Australia, tiled flooring is standard. But, you know, historically, carpeted social areas and living areas have been the norm in the UK because of our climate, I guess. But now that you know, we pretty much all have centrally heated homes, and of course, many of us are moving to underfloor heating. That argument goes out of the window. So, you know, a lot of people are starting to recognise the benefits to tiling and tiled floors and having a solid floor, because of course they're infinitely more durable and practical for family life, easy to clean, and of course because they are solid, they create a much more spacious feel and a lot more light in the room too.
And they do seem to be becoming more popular.
Yes, they are, very much so. Again, people are starting to get a little more creative with them, which is great. And that's one of the reasons why we're holding National Tile Week next week, is to really help promote the fact that, you know, tiles have really come on in the last 2 years or so. You know, some phenomenal finishes that are available, where they're really fabulous textures, you know, lustrous colours, everything from, you know, obviously very matte through to very glossy. You know, any finish and surface that you fancy for your home, you know, is available in a tiled format. And of course, digital printing technology has come on so much as well. So you can recreate the look of wood, you can recreate the look of marble in a ceramic tile. But of course, you know, because they are ceramic, they're going to be much, much more practical. And they won't scarf them. You know, you can drop things, you know, drop fluids on them, etc. And they're going to be more practical than having a real wood, for example, or a real marble.
And I assume there's some of the benefits of using tiles.
Yes, so there's lots of benefits to having them. I mean, certainly once they're up, they're up. So, you know that they're going to stand the test of time. And of course, you know, after the initial investment, you know, again, they will last a lifetime if you want them to. And, you know, people are starting to use them all around the home, not just in bathrooms and kitchens. So, for example, in a hallway, the metro tiles, which are the small rectangular tiles, can look absolutely fantastic and look really on trend and stylish. And of course, you know, they'll take all the knocks and bumps of everybody coming through the hallway with school bags and all the rest of it. So, yeah, far more practical than just having a wallpapered finish.
So do you have any tips on choosing tiles and, of course, laying them as well, which people probably worry more about?
Yeah, so when it comes to choosing tiles, I think most of us tend to be pretty unadventurous. So my top tip would be to put a mood board together. And you can do that either online, there are online versions of it, or you can use a physical mood board. And basically all it is a big whiteboard onto which you collate all of the different elements of the room scheme that you're intending to put together. So that would be the tiles, for example. It might be paint colours, it might be blind or fabric finishes. Basically everything that's going to be going into the room you put onto the board, and you can see from that how it all balances together and whether you're going to get the right look and feel that you're after for the room. And if it looks a bit bland and uninteresting on the board, then you know it's going to be bland and uninteresting in the actual room itself. So you can pull in perhaps a bit more colour or a bit more texture until you get it absolutely right. So by doing so, you're making all your mistakes on the board before you spend a penny. So you know that you've got confidence by getting it right on the board before you then make the big investment and then do the room itself. So that would be my top tip for choosing tiles in the first place. And of course, looking at websites like National Tile Week website, you can get lots of ideas about latest trends. and that sort of thing too, to give you a bit more confidence about what you're choosing. When it comes to laying tiles, well, a couple of things really. Firstly, make sure you've got the right equipment for it, which sounds obvious, but a lot of people try and make do with sort of DIY type equipment. I would always recommend you either hire or borrow sort of professional tile cutting equipment just to make sure you get a really good finish so you're not disappointed. And as with most DIY jobs, it's all in the preparation of the walls in the first place as well, or the floors, to make sure you've got a smooth surface. But also just don't be afraid of it, just bite the bullet, have a bit of patience, do a bit of practice, and you'll be amazed actually how easy tiling can be.
Was there anything else you'd like to get over to our listeners, or of course let them know about any other useful contact details or where they can find out more info?
Well, if they'd like more information, then there's loads and loads on the nationaltileweek.com website. It's National Tile Week next week from the 9th to the 15th. So do join us in our our move to making the world a more tiled place. Because tiles are phenomenal. As I say, I'm a huge advocate for tiling just because the finishes are so exciting. There's lots of wonderful designs that you can achieve. They're not just the bathrooms and kitchens. So just have a look at it and, perhaps try some in your home.
Well, I'd like to thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to our listeners today.
You're very welcome, Daniel. You have a good day.